Everyone, so today we are going to be talking about how to create and build an effective and profitable online Bible study group. So, even before COVID happened, online communities were a growing thing, and not just for all sorts of, hobbies and special interest groups, but for the Bible study kind of niche target audience. Lots and lots of people have been sort of leaving the churches, leaving the physical realm of gathering, which is really not a good thing, but it is what it is, and going to find this in the virtual world. And so online Bible study groups have really been a growing trend. And then when COVID hit and everything shut down, it kind of put it into overdrive. And even though we're somewhat back to normal as a society, as from the lockdowns and everything, a lot of people still really found value and found that these online communities provided quite a bit more than maybe what their physical Bible study groups were offering. And this is especially so for anyone who lives in an isolated area, rural communities, places sort of that really it's people are farther apart. I grew up in the country, and so your nearest neighbor is like a mile down the road. And so people in these outskirt areas, these kind of cutoff communities, aren't able to gather as much. But thanks to the internet, thanks to Facebook groups, thanks to Zoom and all these wonderful things from technology, we are able to connect with people literally across the planet and have Bible study, fellowship, community, and everything that comes along with that. And so if you have a passion for leading, for writing and or leading Bible studies, whether you're a woman or a man, so I will reference it to women simply because that's my primary target audience, but everything I'm going to talk about today applies to any age, any gender, demographic, whatever you want. And so for any guys watching this, I'm talking to you too. I just might not say man. So please, I apologize for that in advance. But this strategy will work for you as well. You may tweak it a bit to better serve the needs of the men, if that's your thing, your target audience. But these online Bible study groups are just wonderful. So I'm going to lay out 6 components. And these are very specific things that you kind of want to do one at a time. A few of them you can do in tandem with each other, but it's not like just do one piece of it. Like the goal is to incorporate all of these. And in the end, you will have this amazing online Bible study group, Bible study ministry that people all over the planet can find and join. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is written content, aka a blog. So if you've never heard Christian blogger, it's basically someone who has a website, and on that website is Christian Bible-based content, right? And so your website is kind of the foundation because people Google stuff every single day. They Google for Bible studies. They Google basic questions about the Bible, about characters, about stories in the Bible, and so forth. And so you can create the content, right? And the way it would look is basically kind of like commentaries, right? So let's say we're talking about Esther in the Bible. So it's like, who is Esther? A little breakdown of the history, what's going on in that particular book of the Bible, familial relations, all of that. And then the takeaways. And all of that is right there on the website. So the next component would be the video. Video is taking over as kind of the primary mode of people receiving information. People prefer video over readable content. And I guess people just don't like to read anymore. I don't know. But video also helps really connect you with the person. Like I could just read, right? But when I'm watching you on video, if you're closer to my age, you're talking about life things, seasons that I'm going through, I'm going to more relate to you and feel closer to you and want to really stay connected with you. And so video is huge. So not only would you have the blog content, you would make a video version of what you put in that. And so you wouldn't read it verbatim, where, that would sound kind of silly, but where you're able to have a more devotional discussion about whatever this study is, just as though you were reading it or discussing it in a group in front of people. Whereas the written content kind of has a more formal aspect to it, right? And so you really want to have both of those. And here's why. The written content is searchable on Google. So people Google, like, who was Esther in the Bible, they find your written piece. In that written piece is an embedded video that takes them over to the YouTube version. And in reverse, that video, in the notes underneath the video, the description, is a link to the blog post. So you're getting traffic both ways. Why is that important? If your goal is to create this as a profitable business kind of venture, if you will. And I know, let me just say this real quick. I know a lot of people, Christians, take issue with anyone profiting off of the word of God. And I just want to stop and remind you that the Bible is clear about those who preach the gospel should make a living from it. Now, we're not selling Jesus like we're doing tarot card readings. You give me $25 and I'll read a verse. That's not what we're talking about. Anybody can find and access biblical information for free on the internet. There's plenty of free apps. What we're talking about is you creating filling a need in the market. This is something people out there are looking for. They're wanting community, and you are taking your time, investing your own resources into creating this master program that people can willingly join for a small fee. We're not talking about getting rich off of selling Jesus or anything like that. So if anyone has that in their mind, now I do want to say, you can totally create this with no intention of ever monetizing it. But for those of you who would really love to do this as your full-time job, like you're a stay-at-home mom or something like that, this is something that you can build and create and literally devote your life to sharing the message of God across the internet through the entire planet, but also provide for your family. So I just wanted to put that little side note in there, because I always get people who come at me with that. And that's just not what we're talking about here. And the Bible is very clear that we should earn a wage for the work that we do. Okay, moving on. So you have the written content, the video content. Long-term strategy for monetization. When you reach a certain amount of traffic to your physical website, to the blog itself, you can put ads on your site. Mediavine, there's some other companies, and you earn revenue simply by the traffic that's coming there. You're not selling anything. You're just being paid because ads are being shown on your site. Same thing for YouTube. When you reach a certain amount of traffic and subscribers on YouTube, you can put ads and earn revenue from that. So there's two passive income streams right there. And that's why these two are so important to be the foundation. Okay, so number 3, adding the component of digital downloads. Now you will create some that are absolutely free, some very basic versions, and then you will create some that are quite a bit better, have quite a bit more to it, and offer them as an option. Here's what that looks like. You have the Bible study notes right there on the website. But the truth is, people like to take things with them. People like to have those printable things where they can highlight, they can write their own notes and doodle and, journal and whatever. So you can create a very basic version of that as a free download right there. No money exchanges, just here's the takeaway. However, you can create a better version of that with additional notes, additional worksheets, whatever, and offer that for a small fee, right? And people will buy that because people, when we study the Bible, we like to take notes. We like to have all that extra stuff that really helps us dive deeper into it. That's why on Amazon, you have all the different kinds of Bible study workbooks and journals and everything else. They sell so well because these are things people actually like, use, and want. Okay, so number 4, so we've got written content, we've got video content, we've got the digital downloads to supplement the content. Now we're going to add in the element of email. Now, why email? So with your website, you really don't own that. Politics and just the world and craziness, servers go down. And so if you lose the ability to connect with your followers, your subscribers on your website directly, you always have your email list as a backup. And the truth is, some people like to have the resources sent to them in email so they can save it for later. I don't have the time to sit and have your website open all day. But if you send me the printables and the downloads and the information in my email, when I have time on my day off, I can go back and read through the materials, right? So the email component is very, very important. Okay, so number 5, So we've got the written content, we've got the video content, we've created the digital downloads, we have an email automation set up so that anyone who finds us via video or Google search for content, we can get them to join our email list so that we can stay in touch with them. Now we're going to put it all together into a Facebook group. A Facebook group is great. No matter how you feel about Facebook, Facebook groups are very, very popular, and they are a very great way, a good way to find people or for people to find you and stay connected. Because let's be honest, the people who use Facebook are literally on Facebook all the day, right? Like all day long, they're on Facebook. And so this gives you direct access to them on a more regular basis. So in your Facebook group, this is where you would lead an actual study, and you can make an event that says on, this day we're going to start a 6-week study on Esther or whatever. And then each week you would create sort of a curriculum where you're going to, share, here's the video for this week and here's the notes for you to read. And by the way, inside that is the downloads if you want to take notes and so forth. And so you're delivering that to your Facebook audience. Every time they click a link or watch the YouTube video, that is increasing the traffic to your website and to your YouTube channel, which is getting you closer to the monetization threshold, or if you've already reached it, increasing the earnings that you're making from that, right? And so your Facebook group, another benefit. So if you just have this online virtual study, you have Google, you have YouTube, but like, how do you really like take it up a notch so more people can find you? Well, Facebook groups are searchable, and people are searching for Bible study type Facebook groups on a record level right now. And so they just go to a little search bar and type in Bible study for women, for men, for teens, whatever. And boom, there you are. They hit a join request, and now they're connected with you. Now they're going to see all those resources that you've added to your group. They're going to join in the study, hopefully join your email list, visit your YouTube channel, visit your website, and you see how that's all connected, right? Okay, so the final piece, once you've gotten all your materials, all your resources created, you've got your Facebook group going. The next level is to have weekly or bi-weekly, however often, actual meetings via Zoom. Now, I'm going to say Zoom just because that's what I use, but there's Microsoft Teams. I mean, we saw during all the shutdowns, all these different video conferencing opportunities came about. And now everybody's an expert on Zoom and all things video conferencing, even if like you don't even have a business. Everyone knows how to Zoom. So again, with Zoom, you have these live things. And why is this so important? So in the Facebook group, you're sort of just dropping links, you're having discussions, you'll pose a question, people will comment. But on a video screen, we are literally sitting in a room together. And I mentioned this earlier, but your Bible study groups are not just about Bible study. A huge part of this is fellowship and community, something that we are severely lacking, thanks to COVID. And a lot of people just struggle to get back into just the world afterwards. And so coming together like this, it's not just about the Bible study. You have time for fellowship. You get to know people. But more importantly, and this is the part that I absolutely love about it, when you go to a Bible study for, ladies' Bible study at your church, it's just the ladies from your church, and maybe a few of them brought a friend. So you might meet a few new people, right? These are all people in your town, in your community. When you do these Zoom Bible study groups, you are going to get men and women, whichever our audience you're, working towards or marketing to, from across the planet. So I have it's not a Bible study group, but it's a group that I have, and I meet with them every single Thursday. And I have another one that I do on Wednesdays. And it's me teaching them how to do all this stuff, right? Basically. But I have women in Ireland. I have Wales. I have Nigeria. Of course, I got a bunch of people in the US too. Australia, Bahrain. I mean, I have literally women in every corner of the planet that I meet with. I have fellowship, and we don't just talk business on these calls. We talk about, families, we talk about struggles, we pray for each other, and we do all these things. And for me, that is just the best part of all of this. It's about the building of community in this digital world, and without any concern of the ocean separating us. We literally have no boundaries, and we are all just a video screen away from each other. And it's just such an amazing thing. So again, the Bible study groups are not, yes, it's helping people grow closer in their walk with God, understanding the Bible, but it's also bringing that element of fellowship and community that, has been missing for a while, and it takes it to a whole new level. So there you have it. So you have written content, you have video content, you have digital downloads, you have your email sequence to keep it all connected. Then you add the element of your Facebook group, because everybody's on Facebook groups, on Facebook. And then you top it off with your weekly live Zoom calls with everyone. Now, you could add some other elements, like you could go live and do things on your social media. Again, these were just the foundational pieces. You can always add to it. You can always make it better, take it to the next level. But if you are just wanting to get this started, this is kind of the order of operations that you would kind of work through. If you are interested in doing this, I would love to help get you started. This is can't tell, a passion of mine right now, is dominating the digital world for Jesus and connecting more people who are trying to grow stronger in their faith and trying to really connect with more godly people in the virtual world. So if you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. And depending on when you watch this video, I will be adding links to the secondary videos that I've mentioned during this particular one. I'm making many, many different tutorials to help literally walk you through every stage, mapping out and planning an organization. And eventually all of those will be down here in the notes. Reach out to me, Facebook Messenger. You can DM me there. I would love to chat with you and kind of see your vision and help you get started. But again, the whole goal of this is to get more people closer to Jesus, and online Bible study groups are the way to do that. So thanks so much. I will talk to you later. Have a great day, and God bless.